Right, Nom, the General told me to look out for somebody strong, somebody dignified, somebody powerful, somebody that looks like they're popular and has lots of contacts. Keep your eyes peeled. Oh, hold on, Nom, hold on. Could be in business here. Look at this. Slick suit, sunglasses. Here we go. Mr. the Viper, I presume. How are you? Oh, no, sorry, sir. I thought you were somebody else. Okay, no. Forgive me. It's not our guy, Nom. It's not our guy, but hold on. This could be a candidate. Chinos, blazer, Rolex watch. Excuse me, sir. You are the Viper, I presume. No, don't call security, sir. I don't have a Viper. Sorry, I thought you were somebody else. Nom. Not sure exactly who it is we're looking for anymore. I'm sure he'll be here soon. Yes, Nom, I realise it's been 4 hours, but your hunger's not my priority, if I'm honest. I'm going to wait in this lobby all night if I have to. I'm not missing the opportunity to meet the man who might hold the key to us being able to find the players we need for the national team. So you're going to have to put your hunger on the back burner for a minute, okay? Excuse me, sir, can I help you?
Yes.
Could you perhaps move along? I'm waiting for somebody, a very important guest, actually. He's called Mr. the Viper.
Yes.
Oh, apologies, sir. You're the Viper. You're not quite how General Ramdani described. You're a super agent.
Yes.
You're going to take me on a tour of Indonesia and show me all of the best talent that's 5'9" tall or shorter using your extensive contacts in the game.
Yes.
Well, lead on, Mr. the Viper. I look forward to seeing everything that Indonesia has to offer. Welcome back to the Diddy Men Southeast Asian Championship action, our first competitive game in charge. We are taking on the Philippines. It's a tough old tournament, this one. Little did I know that there's a little bit of fixture congestion in this tournament. We're playing the Philippines today, and the tournament has a schedule to play Malaysia tomorrow. So 2 games in the space of 24 hours. Luckily, Malaysia are in action today as well. But I think we're going to need a little bit of squad rotation. This is how we've been doing since we left you after that friendly against Sri Lanka. We played a couple of games and they've both gone okay without being spectacular wins, I would say. So we took on Chinese Taipei and we played pretty well. We dominated the match stats. The XG is perhaps not quite as high as you'd like for 21 shots during the game, but we restricted Chinese Taipei to not a lot, really. So that was a pretty good performance. Myanmar was less impressive. It required quite a late goal from, well, a new striker who we're probably going to start today. He's called Komarudin. The Viper has been doing some work behind the scenes, scouting for strikers for us. He found Komarudin. We threw him on as a sub, and he came on and scored the winner in that game. So we think we're going to start him today. Speaking of the Viper, the backroom staff is now all assembled. We had a little bit of a problem getting passports for people. We wanted to bring people with us from the Northern Mariana Islands, but obviously Bernice had revoked their passports. But the General has been working like an absolute Trojan behind the scenes. He's managed to get Indonesian passports for a couple of important backroom staff. So as assistant manager is Nom. It says on his passport that he is 44 years old. I don't know who Nom is kidding with that. But it's ignited something in him. You know what the big man's like. We know that he had a pretty glittering footballing career when he was a little bit younger. Even ending up playing out in Brazil for Santos, where the fans knew him as Nomaldinho. And he went on to score a hat-trick in a Copa Libertadores Cup final. Back then, he was a vibrant midfield player, but he's 44 years old now. And that's if the General got his birth date right in the passport. And Nom's decided he wants to get back into playing. He's trying to look for a local club. He's asking me for an appearance for the national team. I mean, at 44 years old, I'm not really sure what he has to offer in the midfield, but we'll put that one on the back burner. The coach is, of course, Nathan Tekapu, who's been doing some absolute wondrous work with set pieces with the boys. Personality of slack, that's what you expect from Nathan. He's always got a cigar in one hand, a cocktail in the other, and his bike is in the car park ready to zoom out of here back to the nearest beach bar. But what that man doesn't know about attacking set pieces is not worth knowing. He's a valuable addition, and I mentioned the Viper, who has been working wonders behind the scenes looking for players for us. There he is, phone in hand, making another call to one of his many contacts in the game. And it is not just Komarudin that he has found for us to play up front. On the bench today, we're of course gonna have the talismanic striker that is Boaz, ready to come on if we need him. But if we're looking for somebody with a little bit of pace, well, there is another player that the Viper found for us. Saddam Hussein may be 30 years old, and when you're giving out international debuts to people, you'd like them to be a little bit younger than that. But look at the pace and the acceleration on Saddam. He plays for the Kepri Jaya club, and he has got electric pace in those boots of his. So maybe late on today, we might be giving Saddam another game up front against, hopefully, a tired defence, or save him for the Malaysians in 24 hours' time. Hopefully they'll pick some players that are playing their second game in the space of a day, and young Saddam can go and try and wreak havoc against them. Otherwise, we're keeping pretty much the same team as we brought you in the first episode, apart from that little change up front. This guy has been playing pretty well, Evan Dimas. He looks like a playmaker extraordinaire. We're still excited about Jasper Tejeda next door to him. He is going to be a solid midfielder for years to come. And this attacking midfield triumvirate there, especially this guy, Andik Vermansaya, have been looking pretty strong in the friendly. So we're hoping that when we go out there and take on the Philippines, they can do something a little bit special. Looks like Malaysia have already gone down to Thailand. Maybe that's a good thing going into tomorrow's game. I think Malaysia might be quite a strong team, so maybe the Thais are going to be pretty strong as well. But we are going to get out there and we are going to take on our first competitive game in charge of Indonesia. There's the lineups. We're going to need a pretty good team talk for this. I think we're going to put the hands together cautiously. We're going to say, come on, show me what you can do. Komarudin liked it. Let's get out there and see whether we can cause a little bit of an upset as a team of 5'9" or shorter players get into action against the Philippines. Going to be tough playing these two games back to back. 2 games in a day is difficult. Defensive set pieces are also difficult. No, there's Rahman. Forceful at the back. We've not looked vulnerable yet in the friendlies we've played. From defensive set pieces, maybe our high line has looked a little bit vulnerable. Maybe we'll have to look at that. Despite being 5'9", one of our players is pretty good in the air back there. Has done well so far, and our attacking players are all creative, sprightly, good agility. And we've brought in Komarudin up front, and here he goes. Oh, he's been brought down. He's got him running scared back there. We've got our own attacking set piece, doesn't even warrant a highlight. Here's the corner though. Oh, we nearly scored from a corner. We've got some short ones set up. We got a bit of variety in there as well. We're trying to get a little bit of movement in the box going. See whether we can maybe be a little bit of a potent threat. We've not looked too bad, have we, in this first half? No goals to show though, but here's Vickery. Oh, he's lost out. We're going to need to win the ball in the air. We haven't. We're relying on our pace. No, we're running away from the ball as only the FM21 match engine can engineer. And we're under a little bit of pressure. We're hacking it clear without really being decisive. And they have whacked one home from 25 yards. Mike Ott. And that is a troubling start to our time in charge. Didn't really get the ball clear. Couldn't really deal with the aerial threat of young husband, and Mike Ott has slammed one home. against some rather pedestrian defending, and we have got it all to do. We've only had 3 shots to Philippines 5, and it might get even worse. Here we go. They've slung one into the box again, and they've nodded home, and Dylan De Bruyker, the Dylan De Bruyker, has made it 2-0. Oh, we're blaming Irianto for that. Oh, no. Young husband was up there. De Bruyker was up there. And that is a difficult result to recover from. We are going to thrash our arms around. And we're also going to have a look at whether we need to do anything different in the second half. We've brought in Komarudin and he has not played well. I think we're going to try Saddam for the second half. Our other attacking midfielders are not playing well either, are they? We're going to get out there for the second half. We're going to have to go from a balanced mentality up a little bit. Maybe this tournament's going to prove an awful lot more difficult than I thought. The shout is going to go out. We're going to demand some more. We're defending again. We're going to have to build from the back if we're going to force our way back into it with this highlight. We've gone long, which is perhaps not what he's been instructed to do, but he's done it anyway. Players don't really follow the team instructions you give them. They did in FM20, but they don't do that in FM21. And now we are 3-0 down. Phil Young husband. A troubling first game in charge. How have they got in this time? Maybe our line's too high again. He swung it in with his wrong foot. And we can't defend balls into the box. Things to think about. We didn't really see the signs of this in our friendlies, although we weren't playing the calibre of opposition that we are here. And we are struggling. We're going to look at making another couple of changes because we've got to keep people fresh for the rest of the tournament. In fact, I think we're going to make both of our changes here. And get them back out there. We're going to have to get another shout going as well, I think, as soon as we're allowed. Let's fire them up. But we're not coming back from 3-0 down, are we? We've not really threatened. We're going to do well in this series. It's all about the front players. I feel like they've not performed that well in this game. Here is Saddam Hussein. Oh, he's on the ball, but he's been dispossessed far too easily. His strength is not great, even though his pace and acceleration is superb. But here is our other sub. Can he at least get us a consolation goal? He can't. He's wasted a good chance. And there's another one of our corners. We've, of course, set up the short corners, but FM21 likes to delete all of the set-piece routines that you've put in there, so maybe they've not saved. We'll have to have a look at that again, and despite almost matching them in terms of shots, they've got a much better XG. And our key players have not played well, have they? Suleiman got a 6.0. Dimas didn't play great. Irianto did not play great. Idris Elba did not play great. And we have got a lot of thinking to do ahead of our game against Malaysia. We're going to point the finger and say, well, are we? No, we're going to thrash our arms and say I'm far from pleased. It's motivated them. But goodness me, what the general is going to make of that little result, I am not so sure. Well, we've got another game tomorrow. I think what the best thing to do is come back for our next episode for that game against Thailand. It could be that we're already in trouble by the time we get to take on Thailand. We've now got to go and play Malaysia and Vietnam, and I'm thinking we need 6 points from those 2 games just to give us a chance against Thailand going in to that last fixture in the group stages. Fortunately, 2 teams progress. We've definitely given the Philippines the upper hand in that. So we are going to have to go away and we're going to have to do some very solid work against Vietnam and Malaysia if we are going to take our Indonesian Diddy Men into the next stage of this tournament. Thank you for everybody that's watched the first couple of episodes. We are going to get to work behind the scenes and see if we can pick up a couple of results. And we're going to see you very soon for that all-important game against Thailand.